Hello all benders and non-benders, and welcome back to Avatar Generations, and today we are going to be talking about the second brother of the Super Flame Yobros duo here, this one being the Peace Firebender character, Juro. Of course, the other side of the coin, Juro is the defensive one, while Goro is the offensive one. He is also our very first powerful opponent Peace character, so very exciting there. Definitely setting a pretty neat little record there with some very free-to-play friendly characters. Unfortunately, being free-to-play friendly has not slowed this guy down at all. Before we get started, if you have not already, if you could like the video and subscribe, it always helps immensely as we continue to cover this fun game that I think we're all enjoying quite a bit here. We have no shortage of very cool stuff coming in the very near future that, of course, we shall cover right here. But for today, we're going to talk about Juro. Now, Juro is a defensive character who actually does have some offensive capabilities and can very much contribute to keeping the entire team alive. So, let's talk about that. Let's see what he can do here. First of all, his basic, Light the Way, deals firebending damage to one enemy based on the caster's max HP, so his own HP. 50% chance to grant a random defensive buff to the ally with the highest speed for one turn. Now, a couple things to break down here. First of all, firebending damage. This inflicts the fire debuff on the enemy for 2 turns, assuming you can beat the accuracy resistance check. Not the craziest thing that you need to worry about. If you can get some fire elements out there, great. But you don't need to build him too much with that in mind. It's just kind of an extra little thing there. The cool part here is the random defensive buff to the ally with the highest speed. That can include immunity, that can include skill nullifier, and that can include invincibility. So that can really go wild if you get some good rolls. And don't be deceived by the fact that he is a defensive kind of based hero. This attack, if you've got him really built for his HP, this attack can do some damage. This attack can do some serious damage. So just something to keep in mind there. Next, we have his advanced contingency plan. Heal each ally for 10% of their max HP, enter a contingent stance for 2 turns, and instantly gain an extra turn. Now, what does contingent stance do? This will increase the max HP of each ally, so everybody, the whole team, by 50%, and will actually prevent Goro, his brother, from dying, and heal each ally for 25% of their max HP if he is on the caster's team, meaning if Goro is on your team. And then what the rest of this is saying here that's a little bit cut off is after he prevents Goro from dying, the contingent stance shall disappear. So, to break this down, everybody gets a massive HP boost. It's kind of insane, actually. It really, even the lightest of heroes actually gain a little bit of bulk, courtesy of this effect. And keep in mind, too, his basic is based off of HP. This skyrockets his basic damage, so that right out the gate we're doing well. And then this gives Goro an extra death save. Let's not forget, Goro is pretty squishy. He's pretty lightweight. He's pretty killable. This will give him another death save in addition to his relic if he has it, the main battle relic that can grant him a death save if he goes below that 25% mark. This will grant him another death save and then heal the whole team again. So he will initially heal 10%, adding a little bit more on top of that if you do have him with some duplicates, and then 25% if Goro triggers it. So yeah, this is a fantastic defensive ability, and then gets an extra turn here, which means you can whip out the boosted Light the Way basic for some serious pain. So nice little combo of offense and defense, very indicative of a Peace character. And then we have his passive, Composed Reprisal. First of all, immune to negative states. No stuns, no knockdowns, no captured, no nothing in that regard. Reduce damage taken by 30% for 2 turns if the caster is in either sideline slot. And then reduce skill cooldowns by 2 whenever Goro is attacked if he is on the caster's team. This can happen once per turn. You'll notice this does have a pretty high cooldown of 5. This can knock that down in a hurry. If he uses his advanced already when Goro is getting attacked, it will not be long before you can use this again, get even more HP, even more healing, and potentially even save Goro again if things go your way. Next, we do have the skill masteries on this passive that we of course want to talk about. Master level 2 here, increase damage dealt by 15% for 1 turn whenever the caster is healed. If you put him in that left sideline where he's always healed at the beginning of the turn, this is incredibly easy to trigger, and again, really stacks up nicely with Light the Way. At Master Level 3 here, he gains increased defense to himself and the ally with the highest speed for 2 turns whenever the caster is healed. This has a 2-turn cooldown. Not quite as crazy because most of the time the character with the highest speed is probably going to have the lowest bulk, but every now and then, you can save somebody with that, so good to know there. And then Master Level 4, reduce skill cooldown by 1 whenever the caster is healed. This takes place once per turn. So basically, on top of him being able to get skill cooldowns whenever Goro is attacked, whenever he's healed, which will be every turn if he's in that left sideline slot, it's going to be increasing the cooldown even more. So this 5-turn cooldown gets knocked down in a hurry, in a serious hurry. So that is what he has for us today. You'll notice I do have him up to 4. He is very good at both skill level 1 and all the way up to skill level 6. You don't have to get him up to skill level 6 to work. His bread and butter here is his advanced, of course. But this does do very good damage, especially once you get the duplicates. So it is up to you if you wanted to use skill tokens on him, or maybe you wanted to wait until this banner comes back, because I have no doubt that this banner will make a return trip eventually. So very cool stuff there. Now we want to talk about how to build him. It's actually pretty simple, honestly. HP is the priority. HP is absolutely the priority. I do have a little bit of speed mixed in here. I feel like it is helpful, especially when combined with certain characters like Bo Quinn with the Warden's Tower. I feel like speed can be helpful to shore him up a little bit in that regard, but you don't have to go for speed. You can go for more HP. You could go for immunity if you wanted. You've got options. You can even go for defense if you really wanted to mix and match his stats there. You have options, no need to worry about that. With the support, you've got a couple options, mostly in the form of the Messenger Hawk and the Komodo Rhino. Nice thing about him is that he is a firebender, so he can actually use the Messenger Hawk, whereas Goro was limited to the Komodo Rhino or dramatically more expensive options like the Inagi. So basically, if you have a Messenger Hawk and a Komodo Rhino, the Rhino needs to go on Goro, and the Messenger Hawk needs to go on Juro. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind there. Finally, we do, of course, have the relics to talk about. He has very specific options to really maximize. His number one indisputable and unbeatable pick is the Beach Umbrella. Just a reminder here that the Beach Umbrella will increase turn bar and increase the attack stat of all allies for 2 turns when anyone is defeated on the field. This can include allies and enemies. The Beach Umbrella at the moment is meta, period. If you have the Beach Umbrella and you have Juro, you are using it on Juro, period. It is indisputably his best option. However, if you don't have the Beach Umbrella, there is, of course, the 5-star relic that came with Juro and Goro. He doesn't really need it because he's already so bulky that a death save really does not help him in any way. but it is an option if you're not already using it on Goro, or maybe you had a maxed out copy and then you had some spares, kind of like I do. It's absolutely something you can use if you don't have the beach umbrella. Outside of that, if you don't have either of those, or Bonded Echoes is already on Goro, who is the recommended user, by the way, you can, of course, go for the much more free-to-play friendly option of the Fire Paper Dragon. Just get that extra focus, never a bad thing. So that is the breakdown of Juro, the other half of the Super Flameo Bros duo. An absolutely fantastic character, both able to dish out some serious damage and do some essential healing for your team. These guys are very meta at the moment, so we'll see how long that lasts. We know that there are very interesting characters on the horizon here. Will it topple Super Flameo Bros? Only time will tell. But of course, when the time comes, we will be right here discussing it with you all. So hope you all have enjoyed this video, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.